I love making this kind of videos. Today I'm gonna comment on all the polls that I have. Too many questions. Let's jump immediately because I think I'm gonna have quite a few things to say about this one. The retail value of my watch collection is 5 to 15,000, 32%, 1 to 5,000, 29%, 15 to 50,000, 25%, over 50,000, 15%. I'm actually very impressed about this one. Quite a few of you have a big, nice collection. Congratulations. Mine personally, I fall to that 5 to 15,000 right now. So I'm with the majority here. In my opinion, Tudor is a poor man's Rolex, 25%. What Rolex used to be 75%. And I will agree 100% with you guys. I think Tudor is what Rolex used to be. It's a reliable sports watch. If you ever have any Tudor and Rolex in your hand, you can really understand that the build quality is really same. It feels the same. The obviously the design is different. The refinements are different. The finishes are a little different, but that's on purpose. That's by design. I strongly believe, if Tudor tomorrow said, I want to make a 100% build and design quality exactly like Rolex, they could make it. Tudor has the chance to make it and the capability of making it. So yeah, I think that is really what's going on here. And keep in mind, Tudor is much more fun than Rolex, especially for younger, more adventurous people. The kind of cases, materials, designs, colors that they have are something that Rolex would never dare to do. So yeah, when buying used vintage watches, I buy, even with some scratches, 45%, only in mint condition, 30%, whatever, as long as the price is right, 25%. I'm between some scratches and whatever, as long as the price is right. If I pay the right price, maybe I have enough money to go service it. The question is, how big is the damage? Like if it's a stretch, like I have here in the picture of a Rolex bracelet, it's gonna cost like $1,000 to fix, 1,500 maybe. So it's not cheap. But at what price did you buy? So it makes a big difference. Typically though, some scratches, I really don't mind. If the price is right. In my opinion, watch brand rankings are subjective, not accurate, 77%. 23% are good/useful. I think that they are completely subjective. Every time I see somebody making, I'm going to try maybe one of the next videos, make my own ranking. But instead of saying what I like, I think I'm going to try to take history. I'm going to take finishing. I'm going to take hand finishing. I'm going to take materials used. I'm going to take pricing, availability, these kind of things, and maybe try to come with a more scientific method of ranking them, because I see crazy things sometimes, like Casio God tier.
I have the possibility to show you this insane God tier watch. Let me present to you the new Casio MTG Aurora.
And Hublot going all the way to the bottom.
I had a Hublot at the front seat of my car and someone broke in and left two more. My question to you is, why the f did you have one Hublot in the first place?
I don't agree with that. I don't think Casio is God tier. It's God tier for what it is. But you can't say it's the same as a Patek Philippe. You can't say it's the same as a Rolex. It's great for what it does. For the price point, incredible. No question. Own history, everything. But it's not up there. Hublot is not under any Swatch Group brand. I don't think so. They have more unique designs. They use different kinds of materials. Some trends that we take for granted for now, like rubber straps, began with Hublot. So it doesn't deserve all the hate it takes. I don't think it's great, don't get me wrong, especially on the lower end. I'm not going to tell you all these things. You probably know about ETA movements and all these kind of good things, but it's not trash. So if you find it used, I've seen them used $4,000 for the simple 3-hand. I think that's an okay deal if you like the design. So very thin too. In my opinion, replica watches are bad, wouldn't buy 83%. Good, would buy 17%. And you guys won't believe the amount of comments. When I saw the comments, because on my phone I see the comments when they pop up, and I thought that everybody thought that they're good and they would buy based on the comments. So I see gladly, and I'm very happy to see that these people are minority. Some of you guys are so vocal about your idea about this kind of watches. I personally dislike them. And I dislike them not because I don't think you should have something that looks good on your wrist, or you should make thousands of dollars to spend over nothing. I get all that. I got all your comments. You said that you don't want to spend crazy money just for design, that nobody owns these designs, everybody's copying everyone anyway, and all these kind of good things. But I happen to believe that there's a value on originality. There's a value on all that marketing that went behind it, and that's why you like this kind of watches. If you didn't see the Submariner on your face for so many years and so many successful people were wearing it, you would not go and buy a replica, you know? So yeah, I mean, anyway, that's my opinion. I completely dislike them. I'm completely against. And I'm not talking about homage here, which I have a very similar opinion about homage. Of course, it depends. We're going to talk about it later. Anyway, when buying a watch, I tend to keep the factory bracelet / strap, 79%, change for something else, 21%. If the bracelet is nice, I like to keep it. Honestly, I think it's part of the watch design, even if it's easy to remove. I think somebody spent time, and it shows in most cases that they spend time to make sure that the bracelet fits right, that it's light, that it has all these functions that we're looking in the clasp, and there's the screw down crowns and everything. It's a bunch of things that go into a good bracelet, and if it's good and it fits the watch, obviously it's part of the design. I like to keep it. Now, do I always do it? No, because sometimes I have fun. Sometimes I don't want to sell a watch just because I got tired of it, and it's a very fun way to just take out the bracelet, stick something else, and all of a sudden it feels like you have a different watch. Now, always I end up going back to the original bracelet after a while, but it's nice to have a nice break every now and then. It makes you keep the watch also. Assuming similar prices, I'd rather buy a new entry mid-level watch, 58%, vintage top-tier watch, 42%, and I mean, that's a good question, isn't it? I really think that I'm in between. It depends. I've seen great vintage watches, especially top tier. If it's the same exactly price, maybe I'll go for the top tier watch, vintage watch. But when you see how well built the new watches are, it makes you wonder what they were doing back in the day. Like, because they also used machines back in the day. It just tells you how much better machines have gotten through the years. The build quality of a newer watch, you can see it on the bracelet, you can see it on the end links, you can see it on the clasp, you can see it on the case itself, and how it doesn't discolorate as much. Look at the Rolex of 30, 40 years ago even. They look like new, honestly. The design is a little dated. I mean, it looks the same, but you know what I'm saying, the details. It's crazy how good they look after all these years. So it's a difficult question. Yeah, I would say it depends. I'm split as well. The most important intangible factor I look when I buy a watch is actual history, 86%, a movie icon, 9%, pop culture, 5%, I'm with you 100% here. Actual history is very important. It's part of what we said earlier, marketing, and why I dislike fake watches. So I appreciate a good actual history. And movie icon, I have a Cooper watch, a Hamilton Cooper. So I think that says a lot. I can be affected as well. I mean, Interstellar is by far my favorite movie. So it played a big role me getting a watch. When it comes to watches and originality, I always pick the original. It matters 86%, and homage, it doesn't matter 14%. We go back to the same question that we placed earlier. This is about homages now, before we said about replicas. And again, the minority here, the 14% of a homage doesn't matter, it was so loud. If you see the comments, most of them are saying that why pay the extra $1? Why does it matter? It's not a copy. I don't care what people think. I buy for myself. If you buy for yourself, buy an original. There's so many cheaper watches that are affordable. They have original design. I gave you examples: SKX, Seikos, Casios. There's Bulovas, Citizen. There's so many watch brands that you can buy that are dirt cheap. Same price almost as all these homages. I consider them fake. I don't consider them homage. Especially, homage is paying tribute to something. So if I pay tribute to something, let's say the Pepsi bezel of a Rolex GMT, if a company uses it, the first that used it was Rolex. So if you use it, you pay homage to Rolex, but you're not ripping it off. Everything else is different, or many other design features are different. But if you have Mercedes hands, you have the Pepsi bezel, you have the oyster bracelet, you have a clasp that looks exactly like it. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to pass as a Rolex. And because it doesn't say Rolex and it might say San Martin or something, it doesn't make any difference to me. They're as good as fake as far as I'm concerned. And for me, they're the same category. If it pays homage, real homage, like honoring a design, completely different story. But ripping off 100% of the design and just changing the name, for me, is as good as fake. And for that kind of money, you can get original designs that people will see. You know how many times I talk to people because of their watch? I tend to look at people all the time on the wrist, and I have met great people this way. If I see something and then, oh no, it's a homage, a fake. Anyway, that's my opinion. I know it might be unpopular for some, but at least that's how I feel. And I know that some of you guys are viewers of this channel, so I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. When it comes to bronze watches, I can appreciate them. I'm okay with them. 57%. What is bronze? WTF? 29%. I go all the way, love them, 15%. And the sales actually say exactly the same story of bronze watches. They were very popular for a split second, like 6 months, maybe a year, when that bronzo came up, the Panerai bronzo. And then sales start tanking because people didn't like all that discoloration that happens to the case. And especially when you pay big money, at least that's how I feel. I want to make it look as good as possible all the time. That warmth of bronze is beautiful, but I don't like to see it green. I don't like to be like all brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's... So yes, I would spend some money. Maybe like the Oris I have here, the pointer date. I absolutely love that watch. And for about $1,000, $1,100 that you can find it if you negotiate, I think that's a great deal for a bronze watch. But I would never spend thousands of dollars on a bronze watch. At least that's me. The best watch YouTuber, in my opinion, is this watch, that watch, Mike, 45%, Terry Baldassar, 35%, The Urban Gentry 15%, Jenny L 4%. I am between the first two. I agree 100%. This watch, that watch, Mike, is somebody that looks very deep into the watches and not only just describing. He goes back to the business aspect of things and the decision-making process of all these watches and watch brands. And I watch him religiously. Terry Baldassar, on the other hand, many of you commented, yeah, he's nice, but he's a dealer, so he's always trying to sell. That is very true, but I don't think he's trying to hide it. I think he's very out there about it. And the cinematography that Terry Baldassar is doing is a service to the community. I used his videos all the time when I talk about watches on this channel. I think Terry is doing an amazing job. And I started as a hater. I'll be very honest here. When he first started, I clicked subscribe only because I thought he's very pretentious. The way he was talking and the way he was describing watches, I'm like, who's this guy that's talking like that? And I ended up loving him. I think Terry's doing an amazing job, and he is legit 100%. He's a dealer, of course, so that's something very well known. Now, the Urban Gentry is my first channel that I ever watched. He made me love watches and buy watches that I typically wouldn't buy. But lately, I'm not watching him as often as I used to. I think he's still great, but I'm not watching him as much as I used to. Jenny L, one of the same. Got a lot of sponsorships, a lot of promotions, and I think she went far to that side, so I think maybe that's why she's taking a hit, and she doesn't have the cinematography of Terry Baldassar. So yeah, the best watch YouTuber in my opinion, that's part 2, is Tim Masso, 41%, Britt Pierce, 24%, Adrian Baker, 23%, Nico Leonard, 12%. I'm surprised because Nico has the biggest of all these channels, and so who's watching him? He has 1.5 million subscribers or something. So who's watching him if you don't like him? I like him, actually. I think he's fun. His entertainment, the entertainment is there. Sometimes he screams too much, but that's his style. Tim Masso, now, he has the nice guy look, and I know that you guys like that and you fall for it. He has the nice guy look, the everyday Joe kind of look. Because nobody commented about how he tries to sell watches all the time. So yeah, I think there's a two-way standard here. The way he looks, like Terry, oh, he's a seller, but Tim Masso is not a seller. And he doesn't do the cinematography. Now he's doing great videos. I watch him all the time, and I really like him. But nobody commented that he's trying to sell. Brit, I can enjoy her. She's one of the few people that I criticized in videos before, and that's because many times she says one thing, tries to sell you a watch, but always wears a Rolex or a Tudor, and lately Omega. But even when she buys the Omega, she tells you where she bought it from. You know, there's always hidden messages of marketing there. Same with Adrian Baker with his straps, but I really enjoy his videos too. I enjoy all of these people, to be honest. So it's not like I have anything against anyone. I like them all, just in different levels. In my opinion, the best value German watch brand is Glashütte Original, 43%, Nomos, 36%, Lange & Söhne, 21%. I agree 100%. I think Glashütte Original, yes, it's more expensive than Nomos, but the kind of finishing that you're getting, it should be legal. I don't know how Swiss brands can sleep at night. I think, Germans have a very unique design. You either like it or you hate it. And they all fall to the same category, I think. That's why the Swiss can sleep at night. But when it comes to finishing and quality, Glashütte. I love it. Almost. I mean, all of them, but Glashütte, I have a special thing for them. I would actually buy with my own money. Longines, 54%. Nomos, 20%. Christopher Ward, 14%. Oris, 13%. I'm surprised how much Oris is not spoken lately. They did a big marketing effort some years ago. They came with all the YouTubers talking about them. They did a lot of events up to the point where they presented their in-house design movement. And then I guess they stopped paying them and everybody stopped talking about them. And the thing is this, Terry Baldasher, that we talked earlier, that he does all these great documentary style visits to the factories. He went to Oris, and really there's like 2 desks there where they put their hands together. So they don't do any watchmaking. They buy parts, and they buy good parts. They assemble them very well, but that's all they do, which is a shame because their quality is really great. Their designs, I find them beautiful. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Oris, but Longines, 100% I would buy. And Nomos, I don't like the design. That Bauhaus doesn't speak to me. So I would stick with Longines, but obviously quality-wise, Nomos, it beats all of them, to be honest. But Longines has all the history. It has unique designs. It has more standardized designs that I'm used to. So yeah, Longines 100%. I believe the best blue chip brand is Patek Philippe, 39%, Rolex, 38%, FP Journe, 16%, AP, 7%. I agree. I'm surprised actually AP is not higher. Rolex, I think, is the definition of blue chip watch. If you want to know that you're just transferring money, you buy a Rolex. Not so much so with Patek Philippe. Yes, it happens with them too, but at a smaller degree. At least that's what I know. That's what I see. I watch all day. I've been watching like watches for many years, and that's what I see. Rolex is the most stable out of all of them. AP is too, but with the royal oak. And then FP Journe, I'm not qualified enough to talk about FP Journe, so I leave it to the connoisseurs, the bon viveurs of this world. If I had around $500, I would absolutely buy a Seiko, 52%, Citizen, 30%, Bulova, 13%, Timex, 6%. I agree 100% with exactly this order. The only one thing I want to say in this one, because I remember now, when I ask you a question about specific brands, don't come with a separate brand under. There's not another option. I ask you for these specific brands. Maybe in a different question, I will come with the brand that you just posted, you typed. So don't do that. Just select one. That's it. Or comment why you picked the one you picked. But it doesn't make sense to pick something that's not there, I would really want to see a popularity comeback from Panerai, 47%, Frank Mueller, 23%, Bremont, 18%, Ming, 12%. I agree with you. I would give a little extra so it's almost equal with Panerai to Frank Mueller. I think Frank Mueller is very underrated. Yes, they used ETA movements back in the day. Yes, they were charging an arm and a leg for them. Yes, they did the mistake of suing online retailers for having their watches. Big mistake. But they are the pioneers of this case design. Yes, others did it before them too, like Cartier did it. But Frank Mueller was known for this design that now Richard Mille is famous for. And I actually like many of their watches. So, yeah, Panerai, of course, 100%. I would buy a Ming at some point. But once you buy one, I think you're done. And Bremont doesn't speak to me at all. There's so many other brands that look exactly like it. And that's unfortunate because I know that they had a good heyday like 20 years ago. I would really like to see popularity come back from Breguet, 59%, Girard-Perregaux, 19%, Ulysse Nardin 16%, Corum 6%. And I kind of disagree here. Breguet, of course, 100%. Breguet, and I love the designs, honestly. That nostalgia that their designs have, I think is incredible. They need to change it a little bit to bring it to 21st century. But other than that, I mean, what can you say about Breguet? The GP, except Laureato, that I kind of like, they have some hideous designs, except for, of course, the 1966 with the aventurine dial that Alex had in the previous video. That is a great watch, but many other companies have similar designs. The one I would say I want to see more is Ulysse Nardin, and Ulysse Nardin has some incredible designs. The Maxi Marines, I think, especially of the early 2000s, mid 2000s, are underutilized. They should go back to that platform and invest in it and bring it back. I think it looks so amazing. That nautical theme speaks to me volumes, and I think it looks amazing and unique, and it doesn't look like anything else. Of course, they have the Freak. Of course, they have other dress watches. They have those sexual complications that are very expensive. They have some incredible enamel dials. Ulysse Nardin is a high horology brand. The fact that we don't appreciate it for whatever reason, it's a different story. But they are who they are, and I think they deserve better, along with Breguet. But let me know what you guys think. How do you like these answers? How do you like these questions? Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one. Ciao.